What's going on, YouTube? It's S.Akuma1921 here, coming back at you with another deck profile. This deck profile is featuring the Decepticon Menosaur, the Menacing Colossus. When he is combined, he is a 635-2, and he has a Bold 1, Tough 1, and Pierce 1 already on him. And then when he comes in, when he comes into play, you may draw 2 cards, and you may play an extra action on each of your turns. So I like that he helps you progress your game state as soon as he comes out, and you're able to activate an additional action on top of your Enigma that turn, and then every turn after that, you're able to just play 2 actions if you have the ability to. So you can pep talk into one shot stand or whatever. But speaking of I'll take that back. So starting off with the characters that make up Menasor are Dead End, Breakdown, Drag Strip, Off-Road, and Motor Master, the leader Motor Master. He's cool. He has a new effect that I have, a pretty interesting effect that your other characters cannot take non-attack damage. So one-shot stands, zaps, plasma burst, any of that stuff. Pretty much all has to go on him. You have Off-Road here. Whenever an enemy card attacks, they take 1 damage. That's a free reverse zap that done to your opponent. Drag Strip, whenever you flip an orange and a blue, you're able to draw 2 cards. He's a nice starter. I think a lot of times you'll either start with him or you'll start with this guy, Dead End. Dead End is a tough one. And then we have Breakdown here. Whenever you flip 2 blues, he gets +2 to the end of the turn. So this version of the deck is a heavy blue version. Looking at their effects, I think it's correct to play heavy blue. This is 5 wide, so you could go heavy orange, but then I feel like Breakdown's effect is useless. The tough one on Dead End is useless, and plus Menosaur has tough one himself. So I'm playing cards like Body Armor in here as well, and I'll explain that when I get to it. And so with that, without further ado, I'll jump right into the profile. So to start off, I'm gonna do this deck profile a little different. I'm gonna do these. I'm going to showcase my cards in categories. So for this category, we have our draw cards, 3 Pep Talk and 3 Swindled. Pep Talk's a +1. Swindled helps you draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards and possibly armor up or, weapon up your Stunticons throughout the battle. The ratios might change, but right now I feel like 6 draw cards is a nice starter to at least see 1 of them and progress through your deck, get rid of the cards you don't need, and, and it's also nice if you can Pep Talk and then you draw into a Swindle, next turn. When you activate Swindle, draw 2 and discard 2. It won't be a -1 when you play an upgrade from your hand. Now, pluses and minuses, this is a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! That's still in my blood in terms of losing cards and, card advantage. This is Pot of Greed. If anybody's ever played Yu-Gi-Oh! You know what Pot of Greed is. That card is banned in Yu-Gi-Oh! So I feel like having this, yes, the mechanics are different here. You only get 1 action per turn. You only get 1 upgrade per turn. I get that. But at the same time, with these new mechanics and with a card like Swindle, I feel like, because it's underwhelming otherwise. There's a lot of times where I play Confidence even, and you draw 2 and you discard 2 and you don't even play an action, or you do and it's just awkward and you lose a lot. And card advantage doesn't necessarily matter in this game, but at the same time, having more options, and especially more options than your opponent, is great. I have a video that I would like you guys to watch if you haven't already with my Optimus Maximus deck in action against Mark Keeney's Bugs. This is Wave 2 Bugs. There were a couple turns, and I will link that down in the description. There were a couple turns he wasn't able to activate both an action and an upgrade. Granted, you won't always be able to, but the fact that you don't have those options, that really hurts. Especially when I'm doing 1 of each every turn while you're not. I feel like that definitely puts me ahead. So that's, again, this whole deck is theory. I wanted to theory craft well before I made this deck profile. I will be playtesting it soon. This will be a match between Optimus Maximus and this Menosaur deck, and then I have a couple of more to go or to build and showcase. But moving on, we have 2 Infernal Breath and 2 one-shot stand, one-shot fall. So these are my direct damage cards. Infernal Breath, I think, is great. Tapping one of your characters, you play 5 to deal 3 damage is a big deal. A lot of times they're so small, they won't deal a lot of damage in the first place. So tapping one of them down to do a straight 3 damage to whoever you feel like is great. One Shot Stand, of course, is always a great card. Helps you trigger your Energon Axe, pin down, again, you're able to target down exactly who you want with that card. So ratios, again, may change with these. I think only... If I changed Infernal Breath, it would go down to 1. It wouldn't go up to 3, because when I combine, you can use this card, but I doubt that I want to tap my Menosaur to deal 3 damage, unless that's definitely game and their character has tough 10, and I know I'm not getting through. So it all depends on the game state, but that's it for my ratios for direct damage for now. Moving on, we have our disruption. We have the one of the cards you definitely need to play in a heavy blue deck, Security Checkpoint. Acts as a disruption to take your opponent's upgrades. When they add Bashing Shield back to their hand, next turn you know they have it. You Security Checkpoint them. If you hit more than Bashing Shield, good for you. Otherwise, at least you know you can play your armor, activate Security Checkpoint, and rip their Bashing Shield out their hand and know that your armors are safe. 2, Vaporize. I don't know how important this card will be because my cards don't hit heavy. My characters don't hit heavy until Menasor comes out. So, getting rid of their armors probably isn't that big of a deal. But then at the same time, when I sit here and think about it out loud, at least getting in for 1 or 2 damage or whatever here and there will be a big deal. So I might end up actually going more of a Pierce route, and then Vaporize isn't, irrelevant. Like I was thinking about Surprise Attack. I still think that card is trash in my head, but then I sit here and think about it. Well, my guys are small. Pierce 3 is Pierce 3. That's 3 damage that I wasn't going to get otherwise because they're so small. Moving on, I call this not press the advantage because that's a card now, so I can't use that. But, the bigger they are. It's all your guys are 5s. When Menasor comes out, he's 25. Some of the other combiners, if you're playing against a combiner deck, some of them are also higher in stars. So the bigger they are with that Pierce will come in handy. If you draw this and, let's say you have both of them while you have Menasor out. Well, it's relevant to activate both of these and give +4 to Menasor until the end of the turn. So even without the Pierce, when Menasor comes out, it's still necessary, I think, at 3 for your little guys to get some damage in before you combine. Moving on, we have 2 Rapid Conversion. This is a card that I'm not sure that if I need 1, 2, or 3 of. Playtesting is going to dictate. 3 sounds like it's too much. I feel like I only want to see 1, so I guess again, this is one of those things where I'll have to playtest and see how much it matters. You're going to be able to combine by turn 5 because you have your 5 guys. You don't have to work for it or anything like Grimlock, which still makes me upset every time I think about it. But you're going to combine in 5 turns for sure, and hopefully you combine with Menasor having a decent, healthy attack or decent, healthy health because you're playing heavy blue, so you're able to survive. You should be able to survive, a good couple of hits on each of your characters. So I'm playing 2 for now to help you get a turn ahead if you do draw it. If you don't, feel like it'll be okay because again, you're going to combine by turn 5. You should be able to anyway. And then to round up my last 2 actions, my 22 actions, I play 2 Stun to Enigma. When you play this while Menasor is on the field, you're able to draw 2 cards. I don't think I want to play 3 until Hand Disruption is a big deal. Espionage, Disruptive Entrance, or effects like it that keep ruining your hand. Taking Espionage on a lot of my decks. Shout out to Marquini with that one. And, I feel like against combiners, I'll hold that till the turn before I know you're going to combine. Like, oh, he has 1 more guy left to flip. I will hold this Espionage and use it on the turn before he combines and call green and rip this out of their hand. Now, you being a combiner player, playing these, if you could possibly get both of these in your hand, that would be your counter to their Espionage because you're thinking like, okay, well, they're going to Espionage, especially let's say if you see Espionage off of their flips and they get it to their hand. Well, it's like, okay, I got an Enigma in my hand. There's still 1 in the deck. Hopefully I can get to it before I get ready to combine. Excuse me. And then when they Espionage you, now you have 2. So you're able to still combine on your turn. So I like how these green icons make you think about what your opponent's going to do, and then you counteract what your opponent is going to do to you. So by the time they do it, it's like surprise, hey, I have 2, and there's a lot of other instances as well. Again, like that Bashing Shield Security Checkpoint instance, I think that will be a big deal to keep your armor safe and get rid of their armor breaker. So that's it for my my actions. My actions come out to 22. Moving on to the weapons, I'm playing 3 sets of Energon Axe and 3 sets of Energon Slingshot. I was waiting for a use for this card, and I think this is a good deck to do it in. Energon Slingshot, I have 3 melee characters. Let's see, Breakdown, Dragstrip, Det Off-Road, and Motormaster in bot mode. He is a melee character. So that's really relevant. Put this on a character, deal 1 damage to an enemy. It's a zap. It gives +1 attack. I couldn't think of anything else better to put in its place, so I'm testing it for now. Also, Menasor is melee, so this is, it just adds to my direct damage with One Shot Stand and Infernal Breath. If I have this and Infernal Breath and One Shot Stand, dealing 4 damage, 1 plus the 3 from Infernal Breath or One Shot Stand, I think could be possibly really relevant. So we'll see how that goes. Again, I don't know exactly how it'll work out, but or even let's say the bigger they are makes it like 5 direct damage towards a target you want to attack. You deal 1 damage to an enemy, and then your bigger they are your monster, so that's +1 from Slingshot, and then +2 from the bigger they are, making them also a Pierce 4, and then so that's 5 damage total you're getting at a character to possibly either KO him or put him in that range. So we'll see how it goes. And then, of course, Energon Axe, I'm playing 2 one-shot stand, 1-shot fall. This will help me auto-trigger it if I feel like it. Motormaster, since he redirects, where is he? Since he can, when in bot mode, when he can redirect who defends, with Stunticon defends. When that guy is damaged, then you can put an Energon Axe on them, you know, while they're untapped, and then go to attack. And sounds pretty relevant to me. And then, you know, Energon Axe, bigger they are on your small guys, all of a sudden makes them a threat. So 3 of those 3, so the 6 Energon cards, and then we have 3 handheld blaster. Of course, you need 3 of these because they're double blue. They help you to defend better. You'll never equip it because bold does not help you in this deck, and there's no reason to be funny and equip this either. You know, you can discard these for swindle. You can discard them for your green icons and move on from there. So then by the time your deck hits 0, you can reshuffle these back in your deck to help you on defense. And then my last weapon, I'm playing a Scoundrel Blaster. I was playing 2. I was even playing 3 at one point, but I had someone, I think Scott Landis from Vecto Sigma, was telling me, well, if you don't need 3 because even 2 or even 1, you'll get it whenever you need it, period. Like whether you flip it on attack, whether you flip it on defense, or whether you draw it, you'll have it. So it's just like an extra weapon, like just in case you weren't getting any of your other weapons type deal. And that's how I look at these now. Yeah, I was playing so many of these before, and I even thought it replaced Energon Axe when I first read the card, and that was a mistake because you only get the Pierce 2 if you're attacking against the opposite faction. If you're attacking against Autobots, you'll get the Pierce 2, and vice versa. Noble Blaster, you only get the Pierce 2 if you're attacking against Decepticons. So I'm teching 1 that makes out for 10 weapons. Might add a second one later on and take out Energon Slingshot. Energon Slingshot could be trash. In theory, it sounds good. On paper, it looks good. So we'll see how it goes when testing comes about. And then, just like Energon Slingshot, this can only be put on melee characters. And again, Menosaur's melee himself, so he's 1. And then you have 3 other characters that are also melee. So getting this on any of them sounds quite good. And then with Menasor having tough 1, having this as well as tough 4, so it's like superior plating, and he's definitely gonna block for a lot once he's out, and you can equip one. And then of course, again, him being melee makes it relevant. So you know when he comes out, it's like, oh, okay, this isn't dead now, or this isn't, it's always gonna be good no matter what. And to round out the rest of my armors, I'm playing 2 sparring gear and 1 reinforced plating. I like sparring gear because you can get it whenever you want, just like Noble, or excuse me, Scout, the blaster cards, but I'm playing more orange because the 3 body armors and 3 swindle make 8 oranges, and that's all, not all, but one of the factors that helps is drag strip, because if I hit an orange and a blue when he attacks, I draw 2 cards. So when it does happen, you feel good. If it doesn't, it's okay. And then that's it for my armors. And then to round out my last 2 cards, Stunticon Swagger. Honestly, I look at this card as an in-game with Menosaur. On turn 5, when I get Menosaur out, hopefully I have one of these in my hand. The other one I'll just discard because I shouldn't need it. But being able to stop bold and tough, the fact that all of your opponent's characters have to attack this character, if they're playing a heavy bold deck, all their bold shuts off. Wheeljack shuts off. Power Punch shuts off. Supercharge shuts off. All those powerful cards will shut off. Tough shuts off. So, armor plating, reinforced plating, superior plating, any of those cards, they all sparring gear. Even like static effects like within Skydive or a Flame War, all those effects are all shut off. So whatever he's swinging for, you only have your 2 flips and 2 more flips if you're flipping white to be able to defend against Menosaur. So I probably wouldn't equip this on any of my guys early game, and it depends on the game state. Like if they have a guy that has bold and well, okay, I know he's probably gonna attack this. It gets technical, but I really don't think you'll put it on any of your smaller characters. I might even go down to 1 of this and just hold it in my hand until I combine. But ideally, in theory, it sounds really good because stopping those 2 effects in tandem is nice. So yeah, that's it for the deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed. More deck profiles to come. I have Area Bots, Blitzwing, Volcanicus, and I'm missing one. Oh, Predaking to also do, and get some games in with them as well. So this is the heavy blue version. I have a friend that's working on a heavy orange version. We're going to test those extensively and see which is better, or and a lot of this could be playstyle type deal, but we'll see. So I'll end the video with that. Be looking forward to more videos to come, more gameplay to come soon. Gameplay's a little technical right now. I got my girlfriend helping me out. She loves the game actually too. But so I'm trying to get her in when I can. I also want to get some games in with Marquini as well. He doesn't live that far from me, so that's also a something that I realized the other day. So that'll be nice to get some games in with him. Just get a whole bunch of insight of different decks and get a lot of great content for the channel. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. This is S. Akuma 1921 signing out. Peace.